All right, let's see this.
According to most
Tipping.
in the U.S.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm a delivery driver sometimes when I desperately need an extra little bit of cash. So this touches really deep in my boson heart. Tipping is a problem. It's a weird thing. I think it's a first world kind of problem thing where it's like, do I tip my server, and to what extent of the work that my server is providing me shall I leave a tip? Is it when they take 10 steps from the kitchen to your table, carrying your food, making sure you have everything you want, coming to ask you at least 2 times, sir, are you enjoying your meal? Right when you have like a mouthful of your food, how's the food? Oh, why do they do that? Why do they always do that? They wait until your mouth full. It's good. It's good. Thank you. I can't find it. Sorry, guys. I was gonna do a little bit of. It's good. Oh, it's the wrong camera. Whoops, my bad. It's good. Thanks. So, I don't know why they do that. But what about drivers? What about someone who leaves their home, they're docile, they're homicile? I don't, domicile. Cut, okay, and go. They leave their home to, go into the scorching winds and blazing deserts. Is it scorching deserts and blazing winds? No, it's fine. And then they go to like these crazy stores, they go they wait there. They have to be like, have a pickup for a Billy to go there. They hand you the carrots, and you gotta make sure the carrots are warm. You gotta put them in your thermal bag. You gotta drive all the way to wherever the heck Billy is living at, or sometimes Billy's like, oh, I gave you the wrong address. Can you go over here, like 17,000 kilometers away? It's not that much, but you know what I mean. Then they get there, and you get paid from the company, for example, like Uber Eats or DoorDash. You get paid a beautiful $6 for about 15 to 25 minutes of work. $6. I'm being generous. It's more like $3. And then we gotta rely on the tip actually going through, so that it can make at least $6, $7, $8 in Canada. At least the West Coast, the minimum wage here is 16 something, 17. $6, and if I got that 2 in a row, back to back, $12 in an hour. Does that make sense? And then I have to, on top of that, pay the gas for my vehicle. Why don't you switch to an electric? Okay, fine. I'll have to save for an electric vehicle, which is what, 40, 50,000 these days? I don't know. That's going to be like probably 5 years of saving if I want to live. If I want to live under a roof, that is. Like an actual house, not just like some boards, like Mexico, the dumps in Mexico, or in South America, in Chile. Like people, they make their own houses. You do what you got to do, but you can't do that here because it's illegal. You can't just put up a bunch of boards and be like, "This is my house," because then the government will kick it down and be like, "That's not a legal house. Sorry." Well, then where do I live? I don't know. You just can't live here. Bye. This is our boards now. So let's see. Let's see what this mongrel paladin unshowered beast has to say about tipping. Why I'm radically against tipping now. See, one of the reasons I'd be against tipping is like, okay, I go and pick up a pizza slice, right? They're at the counter, standing there, getting paid per hour to stand there and, take 2 steps behind them, turn around and put the pizza in the oven and take it out and slice it and put it in boxes for other customers. I go in to pick up the pizza that's in the display, just maybe 2 slices, please. And it's like, and a pop. I'll get a pop, okay? Because I'm thirsty. I forgot my water because I'm a fatso and I forgot, okay? So then, okay, that'll be $30. And then it's like, with a tip, 36? And you don't gotta choose. Well, you do now because I figured it out. At first, it was like, are you going to be tipping 10%, 15%, or all of your month's paycheck? And nervous stripping, grease stripping, people waiting in line. Okay, sure, 10%. It's the lowest one you can choose. But there's an option. You can put cancel. And then you're gonna have to go through the dialogue of like, oh, it didn't go through? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm just trying to pay for my pizza, that's all. I wouldn't tip for someone handing me my slices of pizza that's right there.
An etiquette expert?
That's it's not enough work in my opinion.
What? What is this?
What's this?
Well, sir,
What?
tipping 20% at a sit-down restaurant is still the standard,
20%?
according to most etiquette experts in the U.S.
Experts?
Standard for years, though, tipping at full service.
How the fuck do you become an etiquette expert? Like, what are we talking about here?
Etiquette expert.
Etiquette expert? According to who?
Yeah.
What?
Who's making that up? Somebody made that up and turned it into a real profession.
18.4% in the second quarter of 2023, according to online restaurant platform Toast's most recent restaurant trends report, notching the lowest average since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's the headline, is that the tipping is falling. People are tipping less.
Well, yeah, because people are getting less money.
Thank God. Thank fucking God.
Why, Asmon?
Like, this
Why?
has been going on for my whole life. Oh, you need to tip a lot. Oh, well, if you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to go out.
I mean, yeah. Like, why are you going out if you can't afford it? Like, I guess, yeah. Like, let me have my choice of being financially irresponsible, okay? Why do you have to make it harder for me to be irresponsible with my money? Why can't I just spend the exact amount I want?
I am so sick of these entitled fucks and these upper middle class people that like looking down on the working class man trying to buy a fucking pizza for his family and trying to shame him because he's not giving his extra.
That's what I was talking about, the pizza thing. It's like, why? Who am I tipping anyway? I don't even know if that even matters. I don't.
Some delivery driver.
You're getting paid per hour to make the pizza.
Fucking annoying, man. I hate that. Are you working class? I'm not. But I'm also not upper middle class either. Fuck them, man. What do you mean? Those are the people that do it. If you go on Twitter and you see the people that are making comments and talking about, oh, who needs to tip, and oh, it's so bad not to tip. Every single one of them is typing that shit from a fucking MacBook. They've always got money, or they're a waiter. And they're like, yeah, everybody needs to tip. Oh, I wonder why you think that. Yeah, let's be honest. They're always doing that. They're just looking for another way to look down on poor people. It's fucking annoying.
Is largely to blame, the report found.
Yes.
During COVID, everyone was feeling generous, said Eric Plum, founder and CEO of San Francisco-based startup UpTip, which aims to facilitate cashless tipping. The problem is that it reached a new standard that we all couldn't really live with. He added, particularly when it comes to tipping prompts at a wide range of establishments, a trend also referred to as tip creep.
Tip creep?
I think that this problem is a joke. And I think that the fact that...
I do think it's not, high priority. Obviously, there are way better. There are way more important issues at hand. Probably like homelessness. What else? Like proper health care. It's not too much of a problem in Canada, I don't think, as I hear. But I mean, you go drive on Vancouver downtown Hastings, and it's a different fact altogether. There's like thousands, I would say thousands, without homes. Without a home, they got nowhere to like. How is that not a primary issue? Is it because like we're too busy trying to defend the borders? Is it are we being invaded? Is that something more important? What else? Did you know that there are more than like? Hold on. It was like, what are the UN? No, not the UN. Canada's. Just the UN, the whole UN list of Issues. What was it? Global issues. This is from the United Nations. So the issues that like the I guess globally try to get tackled are like, what the heck, Africa? Help Africa, the whole continent itself, the whole country. From promoting the development of democratic institutions to the establishment of peace between warring nations. So there's like a lot of war between different nations around there. Aging, like what do we do with the old people? AIDS, what do we do with people who are infected with like this disease? Atomic energy, what do we do with atomic energy? Big data for sustainable development. What are we going to use as energy that won't, freak up the world or burn it or explode it? Child and youth safety online. That's probably one of the more major issues. But like, see, here's the thing. There's something that this guy Jordan Peterson pointed out one time, that the problem with trying to solve these issues is I think they're taking up too much resources and splitting them too far apart, because they got this whole list of things. I think there was a list somewhere. I don't know where exactly where it would be, but like it was like 100 or maybe like more than 50 different issues that they were trying to tackle and make all as important as the other one all at the same time. So nothing's going to get solved because it's just too spread out. We need to prioritize some things. So that's another thing. Like, how do we prioritize solving issues? What goes first? Is it, and then we got that Maslow's hierarchy of needs things. Have you ever heard of that? Where like the first you gotta, was it Maslow hierarchy of needs, physiological. So like you take care of this stuff first, of the people of your nation, of the citizens. Make sure everyone has enough breathing air. I hear that China, there's some parts that has actual toxic air from all the pollution, from all the either the cars and the buildings, that like the factories. What's going on there? Like, we got to solve that issue. Food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. So when you see thousands of people without food, water, shelter, clothing, well, they have clothes, but not all of them, especially on some corners. Sleep, some of them will pass out. Some people will pass out just literally just standing there on the streets of Hastings here in Vancouver, just like swaying back and forth. It looks like they're on some sort of drug or something, but it's crazy. But then, like, so how do the nation's leaders decide, well, what do we do first? There's no way that they're going to be like, well, all these are problems, the same priority of problems. Like, what are they? Let's see what Canada's got going on. Canada's list of issues. See if we can find it like that. 10 social issues. What? I wasn't calling you, dummy. Siri. Detailed list of issues. Gen Z top issues facing. Why Gen Z? This is what bothers me so much. It makes no sense for a country who tries focusing on global issues when there are big issues in their own freaking backyard. Why are you trying to solve somebody else's problems when you have a whole wide array of problems in your own front yard, in your own living room? Like, there are people literally dying on the streets. Like, they have no homes, no food, no shelter, and popping up safe drug zones doesn't seem to be the solution here. So whoever thought of that, thank you. But next, try like a next solution, please. What is this? Okay, so top 3 most important issues facing Canada alone. The rise of cost of living, no duh. When is this from? 2023, last year. Okay. Housing affordability. Well, yeah. The cost of living, so like the cost of groceries. What's going on there? I don't understand these things. Why isn't this being taught better? Like, why is the government not making it a priority to educate their own citizens so that the cost of living doesn't overwhelm the citizens? And then how are you going to even get paid taxes? Like, here's the thing. It's like, if you want your nation to thrive, then help the members, the citizens that are part of your nation. What's going on? Like, why are you focusing on a different country, giving them billions and billions of dollars for their war? That makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, and it makes me like so livid. I'm
This problem is a factor.
Let's go back to
is
tipping.
Also a joke.
I've gone off
I am
course.
so upset at the reality that I live in that people are upset because they're being asked to tip. It's very annoying to me.
Okay, so he's annoyed that people are annoyed that they're being asked to tip. So, yeah, I would be annoyed at that too. It bothers me. It kind of makes me cringe when I see TikToks or people posting stuff. Why should I tip? That's a little, I don't know. There's so much ungratefulness, and it kind of pisses me off.
Because the implication is that they're afraid to say no. You are afraid of the disapproval of a bunch of random losers.
All right, well, we got different viewpoints at why we're annoyed
that
at
you
it.
will probably never see again, thinking that you're cheap, and you're willing to give away your money because of that. I'm sorry to say, but you don't deserve your fucking money.
These are wild takes. And a lot of people will agree with him because they have that same type of disagreeable personality to them. Don't give a frick about what anyone says about you. I mean, this guy watches others' videos about him not showering for months. Month? Is it month? 1 month, Asmond? Or more than 1 month? What's your max? It's just a personality trait. And all of his all the followers. I mean, I'm somewhat, trying to I like different personalities. I love seeing different kinds of people's, like, how they behave and everything like that. This guy is not afraid to, tell people what he wants to tell them. He's not afraid to speak his own mind. Makes him quite disagreeable. If he doesn't want to do something, he'll say no. Or just not do it. And that's that can be seen as a favorable trait to have as a person, because people, especially nowadays, that like there's more light being shed all around the world, how individuals are exploited, how people are too weak to say no to things, and then they end up regretting doing the thing, whatever they've been asked to do, or the government takes takes advantage of them, or just oversteps. There's just so much I guess like a disrespect of people, but at the same time it's like those people that are disrespected haven't learned the skill or maybe the character trait of being more disagreeable, being, and it sounds like a bad word, but it's not a bad word. It's like, you don't have to say yes to everything. That's a person who's always very highly agreeable. You don't have to say like, oh, okay, I can do it, when you clearly know that your schedule's full, or like you just don't want to do something, you don't like something, and it's just people given to peer pressure way more the higher agreeable you are. That's just makes sense that way. And this guy's on the very low end. I would say probably 1 or 0 percentile. So in a room of like 1,000 people or 100 people, this guy would be the one to say no first before everyone. He would not do anything that he didn't want to do. Like, and that's a desirable trait to have, because, like I said, people are often pushed to do things that they don't really want to do, but they haven't learned how to say no.
It's pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic.
Now, I'm reminded of, so I saw this pop up, and there's also
this is about tipping,
kind
by
of
the way.
viral post making the rounds on Twitter. This is, I don't know where this is from.
Yep.
Some restaurant owner, I saw somewhere in New York, which sounds about right. But some restaurant owner apparently posted this message, which says, directed at her customers, which says, "We expect you to tip 20% minimum. That's the end of the story."
Whoa,
Period.
whoa, whoa, whoa. What? This guy's name is MK Ultra Money? A restaurant owner? Is this real? This can't be real. Smells good, speaks like a human, doesn't try to scam you. Indians? What? Owner? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, posted last year in October. Liz, the owner. Never mind. I'm siding with the people who don't tip now. Okay. They're talking about. James is talking about. He posted this thing, and then what's his name? Daily Wire guy posted what somebody else posted, and he's reading what somebody else posted, and I'm now making a react video of what he posted about somebody else posting about somebody else's post. Okay, there we go. Inception.
The number is even
cleared.
printed right there on the check, so you don't have to do any math. When you walk in the door, you enter into a covenant.
You go.
Delicious tart. Lemon.
When you walk
We've got
into
some-
the door of a restaurant, you are in a covenant. You must bow before your authority.
When I walk into the door, they enter into a covenant with me.
Uh-oh.
I will steal the salt shaker and the silverware, and I will leave the store. That's the way it goes.
What do you need a salt
That's why I
shaker
get
for?
the to-go box. The things to go would be their stuff.
You know what I would love to see his kitchen, and there's just like a drawer full of different salt shakers.
Yeah, that's the expectation. I don't know why they can't meet that. It's not stealing. It's not stealing. It's a covenant. That's right.
Oh god.
I used to do that all the time, by the way. Anytime there was mandatory gratuity, I'd steal the silverware.
Oh my
Anything else I
gosh.
could put in the to-go box.
Please be joking,
If you
Asmon.
feel any kind
You
of
can't
way
say
about
that
this other than
online,
100%
can you?
accepting, you should
Yep.
stay home. Invest in your
I
own
mean, like,
sound
how are they
system,
gonna
get some
prove it,
nice
right?
glassware, install dimmers on your kitchen lights, put on some candles, and make your own cocktails. I won't say that you should go elsewhere because 20% is the minimum expected tip in bars and restaurants all over this city, and your feelings about the fact are irrelevant. And if you're uncomfortable with a woman
That's crazy because I feel
The
the
agency
exact
did
same way about that.
mansplain any of this or explain?
I do.
He's covering it, so
I feel
I'm
the exact same
thinking
way.
it's. Well, let's see what it says.
They're
Oh,
upset
explain.
about it.
Okay, not mansplain.
I'm
My
gonna
bad.
go in there, and now I was gonna tip. Now I'm not going to. Now I'm buying 3 drinks, and I'm not tipping on a single one. That's the way it goes. How about that? How did the 20% tip come from? They just made the number up.
Yeah,
You can tell the waiter and ask their boss why. Yep,
it
there
makes
is.
sense that it's made up.
Was he talking about lights and dimmers? The implication is like the aesthetic of the restaurant, right?
the agency to explain any of this to you, again, stay home. Go ahead and go buck wild in the comments if you feel the need. So
That's right.
That's crazy.
this attitude, by the way, is part. We hear about the tip fatigue. This is part of the reason.
Well, this attitude to me isn't a problem. Because that person is an NPC to me. I hear that and I'm like, okay, well, there's plenty of annoying NPCs in games. Yeah, they're going to be obnoxious. You just buy it anyway. It's fine. They're talking.
What comes to mind is the cool one, Balthazar in Skyrim. Oh, a bit of this, a bit of that. But when they start getting too annoying, it's like, oh my gosh, okay, just leave. Just grab your stuff. Or, put a bucket on their head. Grab what you need and walk out.
Talking to you, just don't listen. Just don't look at them. It's not a big deal. Yeah, just go there anyway and just buy it. Just don't give them the tip. What are they gonna do? Hope that they spit in your drink. Hope they do that because then you can sue them for tons of money.
How are you gonna know if somebody spits in your
totally
drink?
entitled
That's a
attitude.
best case scenario.
And,
Oh,
we've
like with a
talked about
loogie, maybe.
tipping, over the
Yeah.
over the years, really, because it's such an important issue. And I will tell you that this is one issue. I have been radicalized on this. I have been, my own position on tipping has radically changed. I mean, I used to be a big tipper. I used to be, and there's times in the past you can probably find things that I've written or things that I've said years ago.
Here it comes.
Just passionately defending the practice of tipping, and that
I tip anywhere I go out.
If the person that's providing the good or the service is acting in good faith in humility, wouldn't you just feel compelled to tip though? Like, isn't that an internal thing? What's the matter with you?
Always, if I do Uber Eats, I give them the most amount of money. Because I've got so much money, it literally doesn't matter. It makes no fucking difference to me.
He tips
But
Uber Eats? I gotta move to
any
Austin.
less of people that don't do that. That's the difference. That's where it comes from, and I think that's what the actual problem is. It's people think that they People think that they are doing a good thing, or that like it's mandatory to do what they do.
Someone's in the chat like, for me, it's all about the service.
Yeah, it's about the implication that you're forced to do it.
I don't know about that. I don't
By
know.
generalizing though and punishing those who are friendly and hardworking. It's not a punishment for people not to give you extra money for your job. That's not a punishment. That's what's normal.
Yeah, like,
Whenever
how
you're
is
unsure,
it that people think that you're being punished because you're not doing a good job? Like, I honestly want to try and understand that. I don't know why, but why do some people think that? Is it just an entitlement thing? Like, I am working regardless of the quality of my work. I should be entitled to receive not only a base pay but more than that. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It doesn't make sense other than the fact that it's like a whiny baby crying out for more. Give me more bottle. Like, I want more. It's I don't know. Oh, whoops.
It's that you're not being punished. You're entitled as fuck. Yes. If you
It is an
don't
entitlement
like
thing.
not getting tips as a waiter, get another job.
Yeah.
That's it. Just get another job.
They might say like, well, I can't because I gotta pay my bills, and if I don't, okay, well then, I mean, are you making enough? Then where you are, then stay there. If you're not making enough, then find another job. It doesn't make sense. Well, okay, well, if I change jobs, then I won't have enough food for this week. Then go to a food bank, get some food stamps, or go to ask a neighbor. Why not? Why not? What's the bad? The worst thing that can happen is one neighbor will say no. Maybe what? Are they gonna call the police on you because you're asking for food? Well, if the police take you, then at least you're in jail. You'll have some food, right? For free. Then you don't need to worry about rent payment.
now I find myself way on the other end of it, where I don't want to tip anyone anymore.
It's not that simple. Here's the crazy thing.
What? Why not anyone? You. Why you squawking? Why you squawking? Squawk.
It actually is. To me, it is.
It's simple or not simple? Extremely simple?
It's crazy. So you're getting emotionally
Just
attached
don't be
to this
poor.
and upset about this and whatever. Never had a job. Oh, you're going to get mad about this. Oh, you're wrong. What does any of that have to do with me?
Oh, nothing.
What is any I'm struggling to see how this has anything to do with about my life or my money.
Yeah, it makes sense. To each their own, right? You want to tip? Tip. You don't want to tip? Don't tip. Okay. End of story. Let's focus on the next issue.
Selfish? So let me get
Shellfish.
this straight. I'm selfish
Here we
because
go.
I'm not giving you my money?
Yes. How dare you? Empty your pockets right now. I'm entitled to your money.
I think somebody's being selfish, but I don't know if it's me.
Man,
What does it
you
matter?
make a
Like,
good
oh, it's
point.
hard for me to get jobs. Who cares? Like, what are you talking about? Why would anybody care about this?
And I used to
crazy.
be 20% at a minimum.
It's crazy how entitled people are. It's unbelievable.
Well, he used to be 20%, so now he's 0%. So, hey, he's 20% much richer now, right?
Why would anybody give a shit?
Can I get that money of yours?
And now I find myself way on the other end of it.
Let's see.
Where I don't want to tip anyone anymore.
Yeah.
And I used to be 20% at a minimum. That's your baseline. And you'd have to try really hard to get less than 20%. So if you like C- service, this is how I used to operate. C- service is 20%. And
C-, that's pretty
D or A
generous.
plus, now I'm going 30. I might tip 35, 40%. Very generous tip. Now
I'm very generous. Very generous.
It's not how I look at it anymore. And 20%, it's like that's almost a maximum. Now your baseline is 0, and you got to earn the tip.
I mean, that's how it all should have been.
A lot of people that feel the same way about it, and it's not our fault. You pressed it way too much. In the customer service
in Chile, there's like this people live in this village, and then in the bottoms on the downstairs area, it's like it's right along the beach, and there's houses across the beach, across the sand. It's like a maybe 2-minute walk across the sand, maybe less. A little less than that. And so people park their cars on the one side, and then they'll go and walk across the beach to visit all these scenic routes and everything. Where they park their cars, there's these little kids that just kind of stand there, the kids that live in the village, and they will, by little I mean like they're around 14 years, maybe around 14, 16 years old. They'll take the people's cars and make sure to park it for them. So like a valet service in a village, like for the rich people who come in and to see the scenes here. And they all get tipped. They all get tipped because like they're providing this one thing, like parking a car from just here to even if it's just a couple meters over. Another thing is like the people who live in the village across the sand down there, the kids will help them, carry all when they come back from the city with groceries, with the big packages of food, whatnot, you'll see like an ant line, people of kids like carrying stuff. And then my grandpa, he's the one that usually he'll get help for all this groceries to be delivered into the house, and you see all these kids bringing in all this stuff, and then he tips them. He gives them what would be equivalent to like maybe $20 or something like that, just for a kid helping, bring groceries from one end of the beach to right across the sand to the house. Like it's I think, yeah, according to the type of work that you're doing, the quality of the service, that's how you should get paid. What's the downside of that? The people who do less work and the ones who provide less than pleasant service will just get paid less. So what's the problem with that? The only good, like, I only see the good side to that is that it will hopefully entice the ones at the bottom to work harder, learn more social skill, so that you can be more pleasant in your service. People love that. It's a value. It's a valuable thing to be pleasant. It's too easy to be an annoying a-hole to people. Like, it's too easy. It's not valuable. It's too common. What's uncommon is be pleasant. You actually are someone who provides a pleasant service. You're gonna get paid for that.
Industry. Everyone wants a tip now, everywhere you go. even places where they're not doing any.
I think the problem is the entitlement for it. I think that's what really
Yeah.
rubs a lot of people the wrong way. It's that people feel entitled to being tipped because they're doing something. And like there's like this this like righteous indignation that these people have for like, oh, you're not tipping us extra money. That's understandable.
That's weird.
Well, I understand it, but that doesn't mean I have to care.
It almost, it's annoying to me because it almost seems like the employer is now putting the responsibility of paying for their own staff, their own employees, is somehow they have sneakishly, forcefully put some of the responsibility on the customer. We never spoke about that. That was never a thing that was a deal. You're serving the customer. The customer is not serving your employees. When did that sneaky snake deal appear? It just slipped in and it went unnoticed. And now we're like, oh shoot, there's this like thing. This like what? Why are the customers who used to be the customer's always right? No, the customer is now serving the employee. Now the people working in the middle are being served, but by force, and nobody agreed to this. It just kind of happened.
Like, you know, I of course I understand how they feel. Of course they want more money. Everybody wants more money. But why would I care?
Anything.
We shouldn't, but it's like been pushed on us.
You go to a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And you ask for coffee, and they just pour the coffee into the cup and hand it.
It kind of sounds like, and not to, you know, I don't mean to be controversial, but it is. It just has become a controversial thing, just like tipping nowadays. Men who are wanting to, it's like it's on them to do whatever they want, right? Privately. But forcing it to become part of law, men who want to pretend or full on, you know, depending on the seriousness of the pretense, like if they want to go full out surgery, pretend to be a woman and transition into a woman, okay, do that in your own time, okay. But now it wasn't just that. It was like, now I need to transform this play that I am evolving into, or whatever, this play that I'm playing. I need it to become more real. I need it to become a law. I need people to refer to me as a she, as a woman. And when I go into a women's locker room with little girls, with all girls that are, you know, getting undressed, I want to be going in there, and I need no police to give me a fuss about it. Security, I want to be referred as a woman. Yes, maybe I still have like a schlong ding dong, but it's fine. I want to be referred this way, and I am a woman now. It's like, and this is being pushed on everybody. This isn't how we play this game of life. Whatever they're doing, it's not. There's some games that if you change the rules too much, it starts to become a different game, and a lot of people don't want to play this game. This new rule that are being put into place, it's not working. It's making the game less fun.
Do that.
It's a different game.
You could just do self-service, and I could do that. There's nothing about your performance of that job that I feel I need to especially reward. You're already rewarded.
I actually don't agree with this argumentation, because the implication is that there is performance that deserves to be specially rewarded.
Yeah. Why not? Especially rewarded? Someone who goes above and beyond? Who's genuine about, you know, serving. It doesn't need to become a requirement, but I could see how exceptional service whether a service or good, like it doesn't need to be a requirement. It's just for those who are more generously inclined. You don't want to give bad. You don't want to give a good tip to someone who provides bad service. It's like rewarding bad behavior in a child. You don't do that. If a kid smacks another kid, you don't say, "Oh, here's a lollipop for you." That's gonna teach your child like it's okay to slap other kids around. I mean, yeah, there's a time and place for everything, right? Like, somebody hits you, hit them, like, defend yourself. Make sure that they can't hit you again. But let's see what you say.
Based off of what the performance is and the nature of it, this specific thing, I disagree with that, because the implication there is that some people deserve tips and other people don't.
Yeah.
I think that the fundamental problem is that if you want $30 for something, don't charge $20 for it and expect for me to give you an extra 10.
Oh. Okay. So what you're talking about, Asmon, is like, if you want a certain, right? So this is like what I was talking about. Like, don't do this sneaky thing where you're trying to get $30 an hour, but you charge $25 for a thing, and then you say, okay, it's required to, like, pay $5 at least tip. Like, don't do that. Charge $30 for the thing, and somebody will pay for it. Somebody with enough money who cares about that product or service will pay you the $30. Don't with this bull crap of, like, sneaking tips in there so that you can make that amount that you are expecting. Just increase the price of your service or good.
Charge $30.
That makes sense.
That's the actual issue. And it doesn't matter about if they do a good job or a bad job.
That makes sense, because their Starforge PCs are pretty pricey in my current state of financial affairs. So, but if I was in a different space, when I get to a different level, it still might be a little pricey, but it's like, hey, at least they're charging the price of what they think their value is in the market. They're not giving you, like, some baloney, but the delivery fees and the labor fees, it's gonna add up to another $500. Like, no, I think they included, well, maybe, I don't know, I haven't checked it out yet. Hit me up, guys, give me a special deal here.
That's
I'm
irrelevant.
promoting Starforge PCs.
If you want people to give you this much money, then charge that price.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go charge two different prices and then get mad when people don't fulfill your unspoken rule, your covenant. You know,
They don't have Starforge PCs.
does it. Everything is more
links
expensive.
on here.
Yeah, that's fine.
With your paycheck. And whatever you get paid, it may not be a whole lot, but it's probably basically what that is worth. Are you a few years, maybe a few decades out of school and wondering,
makes sense.
what the heck did I even learn? What was the point of any of that? You might even be thinking, I don't have the time to learn something. Well, if that's you, you're not alone. And also, the good news is it's not too late. Hillsdale College is offering more than 4...
This is just a bunch of other stuff, but, like, I will link you guys a video. I think he's talking about some other stuff.
Thanks for linking.
I just wanted to watch the tip thing. But here's the thing. The problem was the government made tipping waiter wages, which is crazy. Yeah, no, that's not the problem. The problem is people do it. So,
yeah.
If everybody stopped tipping, this would go away overnight. So just
You
stop
think so?
doing it.
You think? I mean, I feel the same way with so, for example, like Instacart and DoorDash, Uber Eats drivers who continue to accept lower and lower payments from the Uber app or from these delivery companies. So they used to pay about 2 years ago to at least $25 an hour, which was a good value. I think that was a good value. It was about 20 items. It took about an hour. So it came out to be about $25 an hour, not taking into consideration the cost of your vehicle maintenance, fuel, and whatever other costs that might add up. So at the end of the day, it was probably around $19-20 an hour. That was 2 years ago or three, before the whole COVID thing. That was good. And then what happened was there was more influx of drivers. There was so many shoppers being added onto these platforms. The companies started to try out, let's try paying less to these people. Let's give them maybe 50 cents less here. And then they see, oh, people are actually accepting these deliveries that customers have, even if we pay them 50 cents less. Let's go a little further. Let's go to $1. And they kept doing that until today. Now we're seeing orders that are like being paid from Instacart, the company, the multi-billion-dollar companies. Now you can look into them. $5, $4 orders. Why? It wasn't the problem that they're paying lower and lower. The problem is, well, us dumb drivers, the new ones, they kept accepting the lower and lower offers. And now it's a thing. And now we're all like, oh, what do we do now? Well, we all have to stop accepting those low ball offers, like $4 per hour. And then the problem will fix itself. The company will be like, yes, all right, maybe we need to bring it up of 50 cents, and slowly and surely. This is a big problem in this industry, guys. And I don't think it's gonna go away because more people are coming to Canada, and maybe $4 is an incredible amount for them, because back where they are from, they only received pennies. So $4 is a great thing. And now that it's we're full of drivers, but it should correct itself. A lot of people are gonna, already if you see the reviews of Instacart from the side of the customers, like the delivery service is so poor and the cost of the service is so high because Instacart is still taking a big cut from the customer. They're just not giving the reasonable cut for their shoppers anymore, because the newbies that join from other countries and those who are like desperate for a quick buck are accepting the $4 per hour, $3 per hour deliveries. And then they have to, now they make it so that everybody is like seeing all these delivery amounts. And we just put up with it. We're like, oh shoot, okay, well, I only saw $4 orders this week, so a $5 one, I'm gonna take it. Like,
Problem solved. That's it. There's nothing else more to it.
It's
like
it's
every
the same
time
thing.
like somebody tries to get you to think about their life, stop. Immediately stop thinking about it. It doesn't matter how they feel about it. Like, I need this job. None of that matters. None of it matters to you. This person doesn't matter to you. Don't make them emotionally manipulate you into giving them your money.
There's that. That's good. See, like, what he's doing is trying to teach the most basic instruction on discontinuing being so agreeable all the time.
Stop it. If you want to give them money, then do it. If you don't, then don't. But don't ever get manipulated for it, because if you do that, you're being a bitch. That's the reason why.
That's another definition of someone who is high in agreeableness, trait agreeableness. You guys want to see, like, hold on.
Want a higher base salary because if they meet a generous tipper, they can make a couple $100 more. I don't care about that. That's not my problem. My problem, I don't care about anything that has to do with how a person makes money. And this is the same thing with streaming. Like, how annoying.
Read this definition of agreeableness that I got on a result for this test that I did a while back. So the higher in agreeableness makes you more likely to be, a pushover kind of thing. But here's the results from this exam here. I'm 23rd percentile, which means like in a room of 100 people, on average, it's likely that 22 people are less agreeable than I am, where 76% of them, or 76 people, are more agreeable, are more willing to say yes. You are more you are moderately low in agreeableness, which is the primary dimension of interpersonal interaction in the Big Five personality trait scientific model. These two aspects of agreeableness are compassion and politeness. I'm extremely low in politeness, but I'm pretty high up there in compassion. My score puts me at the 23rd percentile. Yeah, okay. Agreeableness is a very complex trait with marked positive and negative elements all along its distribution. Because of this, higher scores and lower scores needs to be explained at the same time. People high in agreeableness are nice, compliant, nurturing, kind, naively trusting, and conciliatory. However, because of their tendency to avoid conflict, they often dissemble and hide what they think. See, that's the problem. That's one of the problems with being seen as a pushover. You're probably higher in agreeableness in this trait. You will not speak what is true to your mind. Like, you tend to hide it because you just don't want to have conflict, and that's what makes people like this guy more, more, I guess, attractive in that personality trait, where he has no I would say he's at like first percentile, if not 0th, but like there's no hiding what he thinks. He knows that it's like it's part of his personality. I don't know if it's learned or if it's genetic. I mean, we've seen Asmon Papa on stream, right? On his stream, for those of us who know, he's pretty outspoken as well. So I think a lot of it is genetic. But here, okay, let's continue to read. People low in agreeableness are not so nice, stubborn. Asmon, get a bed. He's like, why would I do that? Dominant. People like dominant people. They like dominant figures because they know that it seems like they understand what their role is, and they seem like the leader, that they're in charge. They're dominant. They're harsh.
Annoying is it whenever streamers bring up, oh, we need to get a lot of subs, or like, oh, we're...
Okay, he's not, okay. Skeptical, competitive, huh? Very competitive. I mean, look where he is now. I mean, and you can see his old World of Warcraft 1v1 fights. That's kind of funny to watch. And in the extreme, even predatory. However, that's extreme cases, okay? They tend to be straightforward, exactly. Even blunt, so you know where they stand. You know where this guy stands on any issue that he wants to talk about, that he feels like talking about. Because he doesn't sugarcoat it, he doesn't hide it, he speaks his mind. He doesn't care if it's going to cause a conflict, okay? And that's a very attractive, desirable trait to have. Maybe not for people who are more up there on the very high end of agreeableness and politeness and compassion, because then they're just like, oh, those guys are too cold. They're It's not cold, it's just truth. That's the thing. The people who are too agreeable, they tend to ignore facts and truth because of the feeling, the emotion of not wanting to come across as cold, or they don't want to cause conflict. But sometimes, and a lot of times, conflict is necessary for solving issues and for growth. It's just, oh, my goodness. Okay, let's keep reading. People with moderately low levels of agreeableness are seen by others as somewhat competitive, colder, and less empathic, which is kind of different for me because I am quite empathic when it comes to, you know, when I see injustice or whatever, it does bother me. It obviously does bother me. I tend to care more about people, but in a more cold way. Like I don't want to coddle. So, you know, when my kids are struggling, for example, with math, I'll say, okay, well, look, you either get the math, we try to figure out a way to understand the math, or you're going to have a lot of problems in the future with people trying to take advantage of you with numbers. And that's going to be a problem because numbers is in the most major two areas of life, time and money. Time is numbers, money is numbers. And people will exploit that if you don't understand numbers. So I'll say that bluntly to her. It's like you want people to cheat you out of money and time, then then don't try to look for a solution to understand math. I know you hate math, I do too, but you have to push through that. You got to understand it, because if you don't, then people are going to use that against you. They are less likely to look for the best in others, and that's exactly what we've been hearing from this guy Asmon. It's like, don't care about what they think, how they feel, and when someone starts telling you about their life, you don't need to care. You listen about that. He's a little bit on the extreme cold side, but like it makes sense. I understand it. Of course, being closer to disagreeable. Not particularly tolerant, an attitude that is much valued by agreeable people. So this is exactly what I've been talking about. See, if the less agreeable you are, the attitude of not being tolerant, it's valued by agreeable people because they don't have the skill yet, whether by genetic or just by the nurture or whatever, their environment, how they grew up. They learned, they're pushed to be compliant. They're pushed to be, listen, stay in line. Don't question anything. Shut your mouth. Raise your hand if you have a question. No, Jimmy, you can't stand up. No, Johnny, I know you have a lot of energy. You're a boy, but no, sit down for 6 hours a day in your school seat. Don't get up. No, stop playing with your friends. No, like you're so suppressed, like from childhood. When you're a baby, you cry like at night. Wow, something's wrong, and you're taught to be suppressed. Here's a bottle. Like, okay, no, we don't cry. Shh, be quiet. No, we don't cry. Yeah, you can cry. You can scream if you feel like screaming. Like, agreeable people just don't. They haven't had the time to be taught, or even the care to be taught that it's okay to speak your own mind. They're told, hold it back. No, don't speak your thoughts. No, we don't talk about that. No, we don't say those things. Like, what? So that's why these people are suppressed, and they value people. It's like me. I was a bit suppressed. I was told, I was not allowed to do certain things growing up as someone in the church. Like, we don't do certain things that the people of the world do. And so when I see people like this, expressing their own opinions and stuff, it's like I feel more free as a human being. Like I do value that. It's like it makes sense to be able to express yourself without having people like curtain you or tell you, no, you shouldn't think like that. You shouldn't speak like that. They're less concerned. So these are people that are moderate low levels of agreeableness. This is like me. Less concerned about the emotional state of others, willing to engage in conflict, will sacrifice peace and harmony to make a point, or, if conscientious, to get things done. People find them straightforward, even blunt. They tend towards dominance rather than submission, particularly if also below average in neuroticism, which my neuroticism levels are through the roof. People with moderately low levels of agreeableness are not particularly forgiving, accepting, flexible, gentle, or patient. They don't easily feel pity for those who are excluded, punished, or defeated. They are also not easily taken advantage of by disagreeable, manipulative, or otherwise troublesome people, or by those with criminal or predatory intent. Their skepticism plays a protective role, although it may interfere with their ability to cooperate with or trust others whose intentions are genuinely good. Yeah, that's a problem for people who are lower end of agreeableness. Like we seem to like, what is your real intention behind the good that you're trying to do towards me? They can appreciate cooperation, but like competition with its clear losers and winners. Some people lose, some people win. Some people are winners, some people are losers. They will not easily lose arguments or avoid discussions. With less agreeable people, they tend to be good at bargaining for themselves or at negotiating for more recognition of power. They are likely to have higher salaries, earn more money in consequence. They are therefore less likely to suffer from resentment or to harbor invisible anger, which, in my opinion, I think these people would, if they don't get into too much trouble, would probably outlive more agreeable people just simply because they don't have that stress of holding in resentment all the time. Just because we don't. It's like, why bother? It just doesn't help. if they are very high in neuroticism. In addition, because of the tendency to engage in conflict when necessary, moderately disagreeable people tend not to sacrifice medium to long-term stability and function for the sake of short-term peace. This means that problems that should be solved in the present are often solved and do not accumulate counterproductively across time. Women are higher in agreeable than men in general. The mean percentile for women in general population, women and men, is 61.5. For men, it is 38.5. The fact that men are lower in agreeableness than women helps explain their much higher rates of criminal incarceration, 90% male, at the time of this publication or whatever, whoever. The primary difference between criminals and non-criminals is disagreeableness. That's one of the main differences between criminals and non-criminals, the level of their disagreeableness. If the typical criminal is more disagreeable than 98% of people in general population, then almost all those criminals will be male. Jeez. The difference in agreeableness between men and women is largest in countries such as Norway and Sweden, where the most has been done to ensure equality of outcome between the sexes. This provides strong evidence that the biological factors rather than environment and learning account for the dissimilarities. Yeah, this guy is much lower in agreeableness than I am, for sure.
Doing this, or I need to make this money. Nobody told you that you had to be a streamer. You decided to do this, and now you're expecting other people to give you money for it.
It's him not caring. It's like, your emotions are not my problem. Absolutely they're not. But what he'll tell you is like, do the work, be a good streamer, be better. Like Ninja said, get good.
DSP is the best example, right? And everybody fucking hates it. This is the same exact thing.
What's DSP?
No, there's literally no relevance. Your problems have no relevance on me. That doesn't matter. It's totally fucking irrelevant.
What's DSP?
If you go and you put this price on the menu, expect people to pay that price. That's it. Period.
What's
Done.
DSP? I don't know what he's
And
talking
so
about.
anything else is totally stupid. I'll read a few of these real quick.
Somebody's like DSP.
When are you going to stop this service economy to a production economy? Oh,
Please
I don't
answer.
think that's going to happen, right? You're going to see more service jobs, I think. It's crazy how known DSP is. Yeah.
Why is everyone... I don't know what DSP is.
Everybody knows that, right? Then pay the employees more?
There's got to be some, like, maybe... Like a system where they pay people regardless of something?
Employee payments are not my problem. I don't care how much the employees are being paid. That's not my issue. That's not my
Somebody's
job.
like, what is DSP? What's DSP?
My job is to go to the store and purchase the product the store is asking for, the store is offering
DSP?
for the price that they're asking for. I don't care about, oh, well, these people are being mistreated, or, oh, Walmart doesn't pay the employees enough, or, oh, that's irrelevant to me. That doesn't have anything to do with me. That's them. That's their problem. What are you talking
Chat.
about?
Who is DSP? DSP. Dark Side Phil. What?
Imagine if they would, and by the way, this is always a completely one-sided empathy. Because the moment that you think to yourself, well, what about the people that don't have the money to tip? Oh, then they can't afford to eat out. Well, wait a minute, right? Well, I thought it was about understanding how other people are and meeting in the middle. No, it never is. These are people that are just trying to weaponize your empathy against you and then simultaneously take advantage of that and get you to give them your money. That's what it is. No, don't give a fuck about them. Who cares about them? Why would you care?
That disagreeableness trait, man.
You talking about digital signal processing? No, another DSP. People don't get it. They don't understand.
What is
companies are putting
DSP?
the burden on the customer so they can line their own pockets. But this is the point that you're not understanding.
I'm
There
trying to
is
see if somebody in this
nothing
chat will
about that
actually
that's
say what
relevant.
DSP is.
The way the company is making money, anything else, nothing about that has anything to do with me. I am a customer.
Yeah.
My obligation is to go into the store and purchase something for the price that's offered.
A something or a service.
That's it. It has nothing to do with the customer. Yeah, I'm there for a burrito, not your balance sheet. Exactly. Yes. That bro.
Oh,
that's
he's there for the burrito. I am a burrito.
much better than what I said. That's so much better. Yes, you're there to buy a burrito. Maybe you could redo this and change the way that you do this for the tax code. No, bro, like, what is this?
One burrito,
If people
please.
stop supporting tips, companies have to change what they're doing. Isn't helping the employee's life? Well, yeah, who cares about your economics? Yeah, it's amazing. It's crazy how people have this opinion, and like there's always the entitled people that think that you need to give them
Look at this guy. I wish everyone was as logical as Asman.
the money, and then everybody can collectively agree that streamers don't deserve money or don't deserve to get tips just because they're streaming. But it's basically the same thing. You signed up for this. You decided to do this. And now you want everybody else to pay for it. It's nuts. What is going on?
At the end of it, it's like, it's up to you. It's up to you, the customer. You tip if you want to tip. You don't tip if you want to tip. You don't want to tip. To me, it's like tipping. It gets you. It begins and initiates a habit of being generous, which is a good trait to have, in my opinion. Especially in this day, I think being generous is something that people value, and if you learn to, take that, I think that's what the church was, or the Bible, or whoever was trying to instill in humans, is basically like a culture of giving. Because like if the majority of people were taught to be givers, then it seems like there would be less problems, in my estimation of things. It seems like there would be less homelessness, less poverty. I mean, there would still be poor people because some people just, choose to do things that are very counterproductive to their own goodwill, and that's always going to happen. But it could be the minority, and like, I think being snooty as someone who's wealthy, especially if the majority of people are snooty and wealthy, like, well, it was your choice. I think it would be a lot better for the whole world in general if instead of that attitude, it was like, oh, here, I have budgeted aside since my youth. I have learned to put aside money to give to people in need. So I have this huge pot of like giving money that I'm not afraid to give to people who I deem is in need. If there was millions of people doing that, hundreds of millions, where do you think the world would be? If hundreds of millions of people had learned from youth to put aside working money just to give to people who they thought needed, it would be like money trees everywhere. It would be like refreshing money trees everywhere. And chances are the chances will be higher if you happen to because of your decisions or bad luck, bad cards in life, the chances that you would find someone who would help you and give you solace would be much higher. Than that's why I think tipping is I think it's a good practice to begin if you haven't, and if you are, it's like it's something that's part of you. It produces this generosity trait buff in our life. And the more people are taught that, the more people see the good side of it rather than like, oh, but that's my money, I earned it. It's like the better this whole playground of Earth will be if we all slowly started to, save a little bit for not only for our own savings, but like aside from that, for just like generosity, like even if it was 2% of your money. You don't have to. I'm just saying that's what I think would be best for everyone, for yourself even. You would feel better. People feel good when they give, most of the time, I think. Especially if you have the means to give. Yeah. Anyways.